Often, when we think of sleep disorders, we think of insomnia or trouble sleeping, sleep apnea or abrupt breathing patterns during your sleep, or even night terrors, which is nightmares that cause a lot of anxiety. But has narcolepsy ever crossed your mind? Probably not. And that's because either you yourself don't have it or someone you know doesn't know that they have it. Narcolepsy is commonly thought of as falling asleep randomly, but did you know narcolepsy can also be just as simple as excessive daytime sleepiness? It's more common than you think. Ever since I can remember, I would always fall asleep during any downtime that I had, whether I was watching a movie, I was a passenger on a car ride, or I was eating lunch, sometimes even taking a bath. And luckily, I didn't drown, and I'm here to tell my story. In 2019, I started going back to school and working at the same time. And although that's a normal scenario for most students, for me that was something I couldn't handle because I was always exhausted, and that made me feel less than. Over the course of that year and the following year, I noticed I wasn't sleeping well at night, if not at all. But I had no problem doing it during the day. And when I did sleep at night, I would feel like something was sitting on my chest and like I couldn't move. Or I would hear loud noises that were actually just in my head. This is when I started to think, maybe I have narcolepsy. It was around that same time frame that I saw some of my friends on social media posting about their own diagnosis. And I started to realize narcolepsy isn't what we think it is. So I decided to do some research on it. Narcolepsy 1 is the narcolepsy we commonly think of, which is falling asleep randomly. But there's a type 2. Narcolepsy 2 doesn't have cataplexy or losing control of your muscles and then randomly sleeping. Narcolepsynetwork.org says that the most common symptoms of narcolepsy are excessive daytime sleepiness, disruptive nighttime sleep, sleep paralysis, and hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucinations, which are vivid experiences that occur when falling asleep or waking up. After doing my own research, everything started to make sense now. I realized that what I was feeling at night and not being able to move was just sleep paralysis. And the loud noises that were occurring in my dreams or in my head was just hypnagogic hallucinations. I decided then to have a sleep study done and to possibly get diagnosed. In order to get a diagnosis, you have to have a multiple sleep latency test done and a polysomnography test done. How this is done is by sleeping in a lab overnight, and they take electrodes and put them on your chest, your legs, and your head. What it does is monitors your breathing, your heart rate, and your muscle movement. The sleep latency test, it sees how long it takes you to fall asleep during the day. If you get a narcolepsy diagnosis, you're actually pretty lucky. And that's because most people, 60% of people, are misdiagnosed. And only 25% of people in the US actually have a diagnosis. And that's according to the Recovery Village. Usually, symptoms begin to surface between ages 10 and 30. Currently, only 1 in 2,000 people in the United States have been diagnosed with narcolepsy. The cause is not 100% certain, but it is believed to be caused by an imbalance in hypocretins in your brain or a loss of nerve cells. Since getting my diagnosis and being able to put a name to all my problems, I've been able to manage my condition so much more. One thing I must do each day is take scheduled naps. For me, that is a 30-minute nap at 12 p.m. and a 30-minute nap at 4 p.m. Another thing I have to do is take my prescribed medication to help me not be sleepy during the day and be able to function through the exhaustion. This doesn't mean that I'm not tired anymore. It just means that now I can work through being tired and be able to fight the urge to sleep. In conclusion, If you or someone you know is having sleep issues, no matter how common they may seem, it may be a bigger issue than you think, and you should seek help for it. Narcolepsy is more common than you think. Sleep is important, and not feeling your best and feeling exhausted is not the key to life. You deserve to sleep well and be able to function properly. You are not less than anyone else just because you might be more exhausted than someone. So honey, keep being the nap queen that you are, but also wake up and get some help. Thank you.